In the next edition of It's About Money, my guest will be Natalie Rae, and she's the owner of Panache. And in recent years, consignment shops have seen a remarkable rise because they have been blending sustainability, style, and smart shopping. So I'm excited to talk with Natalie, and stay tuned for next edition of It's About Money. Hello and welcome to another edition of It's About Money. I'm Nannette Nocon, and thank you for joining us. I'm thrilled to have our guest, Natalie Rae, who is the owner of Panache Consignments by Natalie Rae. So thank you for being here.
Oh, thank you for having me. This is awesome.
Yeah. I love going to your shop. So I want to ask you about how you decided to buy a business and build it.
Yeah, it was really organically, honestly. I know we love all of our shoppers. We love Nannette, but it happened really organically. I've always loved fashion. I've always loved design. I had some experience in owning a business and being in retail. I have a home decor and handbag line that I actually was selling in Panache Home for many years before I decided to purchase it. So I would style Panache clothing with my handbags and promote both of the stores. So I had a relationship with Panache, and it was in the same wheelhouse as what I was doing with my handbag and home decor line, because it's all repurposing fabrics into handbags and home decor. So it was repurposing, sustainable, and that is like the same trajectory as Panache. So I loved that we were meshed in that way. And so it felt like a great fit at working together. And then when the previous owner decided to transition out, it was a really awesome transition. So that was a perfect organic switch for me to take over both of those stores. I think that the younger generation is definitely, they see the importance in shopping sustainably and reusing and restyling. And I love that Panache and Natalie Rae are a part of that. So it was a cool transition for sure.
Yeah, I think it's great. You seem so enthusiastic about your work.
Yeah.
You must come to work with such joy every day.
I really do. It's so fun. We get new things in all the time, and you never know. Regular boutiques, you're picking out, and obviously you have a vision board, which we do too, but you can pick ahead of time what you're going to get in, and with consignment, you just never really know. So it's a whole nother level of excitement and unknown every day, which is cool.
And how does that process work? So if the consignment, the people bring you stuff, how tell me about that process.
Yeah.
How does that work?
So it is actually a really unique business model. It's really fun. So we have two stores. There's a home store and a clothing store. They're side by side, and they both work on consignment basis. So we deal with clients and customers, and a lot of the time they're the same people, which is really fun, which is really cool too. So a lot of our consigners are also our customers. So we book appointments pretty much daily for people to come in and bring in clothing to consign with us. And we get to curate each item to make sure that it's really our aesthetic, that they meet our condition criteria, and that they're a luxury niche. So we take in so many different brands, but our niche is definitely a luxury label. In the clothing store, and then in the home store, we have various brands, but we try to make it a little bit more streamlined, so easier for our customers to shop.
I see. Which comes first, people selling or buying, and then they go, oh yeah, I've got stuff at home I don't need.
Oh, yeah, exactly, yes. So we have so many clients, which we feel really grateful for. So a lot of our clients have consigned with us again and again, but we, every day, a shopper will ask, how does this work? And we'll go through that process, which is great. We're always looking for new consigners. Mm-hmm. It's kind of, a circular thing. So a lot of our customers are also consigners, and they continue to be. And some people don't want to, and they just want to shop, and that's fine too. Mm-hmm. But it's cool, and it adds another dimension and another layer of a relationship with that as well.
Yeah, I guess it'd be nice to, like you said, they have the sustainability idea, and they could do the same by kind of repurposing or restyling have somebody else enjoy.
Exactly. Yeah, and we're always changing. You know, we're changing the way that we look, the way that we feel. We go through different seasons and decide that we want to dress a different way. So it's fun that Panache can be there for all those different seasons, and then also we can help you with your needs if you need to say goodbye to some pieces.
Oh yeah, that's great. So when people come in, how do you help them? Do you help them say, "Oh, this might look good on you"? Do you do those kinds of things?
Oh yeah, I think that really does set us apart. There's not a lot of stores that do that these days, and we're super hands-on. We're very relationship based, and if you want our advice, we are always willing to give it graciously, of course, you know. But when you come in, if you're a consigner or a customer, you really feel known, I think, in both stores, in the home store and the clothing store. So that's fun. And people ask for our opinions all the time. We help style, or they come in for an event, and it might be something last minute. They have an event tomorrow, and they've tried everything, and they just also need another woman's help, which we all really love each other's opinions, let's be honest. And in the morning, you don't always have that. So it's nice to have a space where you can come in, get our opinion. And so we'll even have people come in with pants that they own, and they're like, I need something to go with these pants, and we'll work from there, and we'll pull some things for them, and they go in the fitting room and come out, and
so they already have the matching part of the attire.
Exactly.
And one time I was there, and this young couple, they had just come from the tailor.
Oh yeah.
And she tried on a bunch of stuff. And he said to her, "Boy, we don't need to get that done. Look at all these outfits for the same price."
No, seriously, I know.
I thought that was pretty interesting. So
yeah.
And so, what aspect of Panache are you most proud of? You know what?
Oh gosh, so many things. So I love that we are sustainable and that we're kind of keeping fashion circular. I think that we've grown a lot digitally recently, and I felt that momentum, and I love to keep going on that momentum. So we have a website, doesn't have everything on it, but you can shop on the website. It has some of our higher end items and kind of gives you an idea of the things that we do offer. And then we get in new items every day, like I had mentioned. So I tried to do Instagram and Facebook stories. So they go up for 24 hours. You can kind of tap through them, and I'll feature maybe like 5 to 10 items that has come in recently and kind of describe them. So that's really fun because that's helping get the word out there, and our hours don't work for everybody. Everyone's so busy nowadays, you know, and all of a sudden a week could go by and you were meaning to get to the store, and maybe you're having fear that you missed something, right? You can go on our Instagram or our Facebook and tap through the stories, see what we have. You can send us a message. You can purchase something online. You can purchase an item through Instagram, which is really awesome.
Oh, you know that.
So we've been testing it out. It's been working really well. We've been getting great feedback. So we're kind of keeping that momentum. Same thing with videos and reels on Instagram and on Facebook. So that's awesome. And then the community, obviously, like what I said, I think it's so fun that people have made friends in the store. And I've also seen like people reconnect. Like, I haven't seen you in, X amount of years. And then, it's let's get coffee tomorrow, and all of a sudden it kind of like reflourishes an old friendship or something like that. And even if it doesn't end up being like a new friendship, it's this connection that you feel with people when you come out of the fitting room and other people look over like, oh, that looks awesome on you. Like, you should get that, or you should put a belt on with that. So people aren't afraid to get involved, and I think that's really special. I love that.
Yeah, that's terrific. And so inventory. So you really, what's in the store is your inventory. You're not having to it arrived late. We didn't have that like a regular retail store.
No, 100% in that. And same with like the tariffs and taxes. Like, none of that really applies because exactly what comes in that day, we try and get out on the floor immediately. I mean, it doesn't always happen that way, but we do our best. So we have appointments all day, pretty much 4 days out of the week, sometimes 5. We try not to do it on Saturdays, but so we have appointments pretty much every day of the week. We'll go through the items, and then we process after hours and get things out on the floor almost immediately. And the cool thing too is, even if it's not quote unquote processed yet, we know what's available in the back. So if somebody does come in and they're like, I really need a black sequin shawl that's, that is a bolero style, we can say, oh, well, something came in recently. Let me go take a look. So it's personalized. We have so much inventory. We get new things all the time, and we never know what we're going to get, which is fun.
So it's a good way for people to keep coming back and checking what's new.
Yeah. But we do book by season. Yeah, I should say that. So we do book by season. We do try and have like a little bit of each season if you're going on vacation, but generally we flip the store based on season. Not as far ahead as, if you go to the mall, I feel like sometimes they're just so far ahead of us season-wise that if you're looking for something last minute, there's not a lot of options. Whereas if you come to Panache and you need a fall dress for a wedding that's tomorrow, we're going to have that for you, which is great. Yeah.
So the consigners then, if they brought you something, say it was summer and it's now winter, do you call them and say you want to pick up your stuff, or how does that go?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So it totally depends on what the item is. So they run a course of about like 90 days. So we'll take an item for 90 days, which here in upstate New York is about the time that our season is going to change. So at that point, those items are kind of past season. So they run 90 days at the price that we research, and we look up what this specific brand and style is going for secondhand. We price it accordingly, goes out on the floor, and then after that 90-day period, we run sales. And then after that, they either get returned to the client or they go to donation.
I see. And then you also have a back room there that has the super priced items.
Oh, you know it. Yeah, we have a back room sale that's always 70% off, which is crazy, which is awesome. And then sometimes we run extra deals and we do 80% off. We have a cool Panache bag where it's a reusable bag, so we're all about reusing and sustainability. And if you bring that bag in, you get 10% off future purchases. You just have to spend over a certain amount of money in one time to earn the bag, and then you can have it for life. Yeah, you just bring it in and you get your discount, which is cool.
I think that's great. So what long ago, maybe in my 20s, one of my friends said, you shouldn't shop off the rack. I'm like, what does that mean?
Yeah,
What she meant was go to the consignment shop, high end.
And high end,
yeah. I was like, what does that mean? Yeah. Don't shop off the rack.
That's
but
funny.
I didn't take her advice until recently, so it's good. And so do you have like a list of consigners, and then you get in touch with them? It's like, hey, is it time? Like, how do you build your inventory? Or is it just naturally happens?
So it's a little bit of both. That's a great question. It's a little bit of both. We have over 4,000 clients in both stores, which is amazing. So, and a lot of these clients have been with us for many years, which also we're very proud of. We have strong relationships with our consigners, and they love to consign with us again and again. And then we have new people who come in and are on a different style journey and are ready to say goodbye to some of their clothing. So for inventory, we are lucky enough to be highly curated, so we can go through each item and really make sure that it fits our aesthetic. But we do call. We have we have a call list for people who like certain specific brands, which is fun. We're super lucky to have things like Mackenzie Child in our home store always, right? We have Magnolia Pearl and Crystal Larson and Issey Miyake and Runholtz and Lilith, and these really fun, cool, different brands that we get in often. And then we have some people who like follow vintage Chanel and these higher end things. And so we'll have some call lists of people that say, if you ever get, or wish list we should call it, if you ever get in these items, give us a call. So we call those clients to come in. And then that kind of then creates a call list for our consigners as well, right? If somebody says, well, whenever you need more Issey Miyake or something, give me a call, and we'll do that as well. So we've known our customers and clients for a long time, and we feel comfortable enough to just hop on the phone, which is great.
Yes, the personalized approach that many people who are shopping would like, actually.
Yeah,
It's like,
100%.
because otherwise you're calling into the website to buy things or shop. Yeah.
Yeah, and it feels a little disconnected that way, and they don't really know what you like or your style, and yeah.
That's great. We're going to take a little break. My name is Nannette Nocon. It's about money, and my guest is Natalie Rae, Consignments by Natalie Rae. We'll be right back.
My relationship with my dad, I've had many male figures in my life, but there's only been one that has taught me that it's okay to be silly, it's okay to feel small, it's okay to admit you need help. And with anything, I can always go to my dad.
Learn about adopting a teen at adoptuskids.org.
And we're back. I'm Nannette Nocon. It's about money, and my guest is Natalie Rae of Consignments by Natalie Rae. So thank you so much.
Yes, thanks for having me.
I appreciate it. Let's talk about owning a business, buying a business. What options did you look at in terms of, obviously it requires money to buy a business.
Oh,
right?
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. So what were the options that you're looking at, and how did you weigh them?
Yeah. There are so many different options. So obviously you can take out a loan, or you can negotiate. It's a little different, I think, sometimes when it's a smaller business. So there's also an option to pay back the individual themselves over a period of time. So there are so many different ways, or you could go to a bank and get out a loan and pay. You pay the bank and you pay that person out front. So there are so many different ways. So for a business like this, when it's really relationship based, so you're not really buying much tangibility, it's usually smarter to negotiate something that's a little bit of a longer term, just to make sure that the transaction goes smoothly over the course of, let's say, 5 to 10 years. So it was a little bit of a longer trajectory for me. I wanted to make sure that the relationships were going to continue, right? Because from one owner to the next, who's to say that somebody might not feel comfortable with myself, or do you know what I'm saying? So I went into this. Luckily, I had a great relationship with the previous owner before. She went to my wedding. We were friends. So it was great. We had a relationship before. I was able to be at the store for a year, maybe a little more before I took over the store, and I was able to really meet all the customers. So everybody, customers and clients. So I was there for appointments. I was there when people came to shop. Since a lot of people get afraid of change, especially when somebody changes hands. Oh no, it's changing. But my first thing anytime anyone had a negative feeling about it, I said, well, aren't you so glad that it's not going away and that it's staying here and it's going to be almost the same? It's just going to be different. It's going to be a different face. We might organize things differently, but it's going to be the same process. It's still going to be a niche of a luxury label with a lot of funky, cool, different brands, and we're still going to help you get dressed. And just because I might look different or have a little bit of a different style doesn't mean I'm not going to give you my honest opinion on things.
Sure, you don't want people looking like you.
Right. Well, so then they're like, oh, you're only going to carry small, a certain size, which isn't true. We try to be size inclusive, and yeah.
So I was thinking that your business is really different in that there's no inventory per se, right? Because the inventory belongs to the consigner.
Yeah.
So you can't really buy that.
Correct. So that's what. So it made it made it a little trickier. So it was a long process. I think it's always a long process when you are trying to buy a business. But it was close to a year of negotiating, and obviously you get banks involved, you get lawyers involved, you get financials involved, just to make sure I have people who really know what they're talking about. I'm just like, things, I don't know everything, so I get people who are experts to help.
And so the previous owner, she could come back and help you out in the store, because if this is a long-term relationship,
exactly,
she wants her money to come through. I mean, I'm just looking at a business,
correct,
right? So if I was the one selling to you, I'm going to say, I'm going to help you succeed.
Correct.
Because I want my payments to continue.
Exactly. That's kind of exactly the negotiation. Yeah, right, exactly. So that would be, that's exactly what we did. Yeah, just to make sure everyone, not that, you would ever think that, and we had a different relationship, so I'm sure it would have been that way no matter what, but I had heard so many stories from other friends who purchased businesses outside of retail that, it wasn't in the write-up that there was any involvement. And then all of a sudden they left or left town and were never to be heard of from again. And that's scary too. If you ever have a question or if something goes wrong or if another business comes in and, takes a business model. So, you put things in place to make sure that you're set up for success.
Right. And as you run the business, what year did you buy the business?
2023.
23.
Yeah.
So a couple of years.
Yeah.
And as you're moving along, do you say, "Oh, this is not the way I'd like to do it. I'll change that," or do you say, "Well, it's the way it is"? How do you approach that, like the process itself?
Yeah, that's a good question because there's always a fine line. So from the beginning, the first month I didn't change anything because I wanted to make sure everyone was okay with me taking over the business. The second month, I just did a light revamp. So we just reorganized things differently to have my twist on it a little bit, to make it feel a little bit more like my own, a little different, but it still had the same inventory, right? We still had the same appointments on the books, all those things. And then slowly over time, I would start to slowly implement different procedures in place. Slowly is key. So for instance, I actually am changing something just small this month. And so I have a lot of phone calls with previous clients just to go through everything to make sure that they're okay with it. And sometimes, most of the time, people are going to be okay with it, especially if you have a conversation with them about it.
Knowing what to expect.
Right, because as you grow, things have to evolve and change, right? As you grow, as a business grows. So we're always changing, we're always evolving, we're always trying to keep up with, like I said, social media and all of this stuff. And we have a lot of fun things in the works, ideas that are gonna come next year, and that's gonna involve, because it's consignment, like we've talked about, it's different than it's not my own inventory that I just bought outright and can do whatever with, right? I have to have the okay from the consigners. So next year, there's gonna be some other fun things that I think is really gonna enhance and allow shoppers a new experience. So that's exciting, yeah.
Yeah, because besides clothing, you have handbags and shoes and belts and accessories and necklaces and earrings,
everything, yeah. And a lot of special occasion, gowns too. I know that women have a hard time finding that's mother of the bride or mother of the groom dress or going to a gala, and we have that too, which is beautiful.
And you also help support a lot of non-for-profits. One of them is the tradition of Panache, and that's actually how I found out about Panache, from Fashion Week by Center for Youth.
Yes, we love the Center for Youth. We love Fashion Week. We always participate every year. It was actually how the previous owner and I announced that I was purchasing the business. We did it on the runway. So that was really cool to be able to have that platform and then also support the Center for Youth. So we do the big event in October, which we just showcased. We had 17 models on Friday night. It was wonderful. Saturday we went and supported the whole thing and we got to watch it. It was beautiful. And then they do one in the spring, sometimes in the summer, and then always in the fall. So we always love to be on the runway supporting them. And then Willow, I did an event. I love to support Willow. They're near and dear to my heart personally. So myself, a friend, Breezy, and Stephanie. So it's kind of fun. We're in Brighton. Panache is in Brighton, and just in the last 2 years that I've taken over the store, there's a couple businesses that I'm from Fairport, that are my year, the 4 years that I've been in Fairport, taking over businesses up and down Monroe. So that's pretty cool to see. So a couple of us got together. We got a bunch of women in business together to do Pouring for a Cause for Willow. So we did a fundraising event at the basin, Bushnell's Basin, and that was really fun. So we're always trying to do events to raise money and everything. Yeah.
And for Center for Youth, it's like we're going to raise money, we might as well make it fun. And that's why they do the
Exactly.
Fashion Week. So
Yeah.
the same model that you're doing.
Yeah,
that's
exactly,
great.
which is great.
Is there ever a time where you go, oh, it's not going to work? Do you ever doubt that? Or do you feel like it's working so well that, hey, keep going?
No, I think it's working so well. Hey, keep going. But of course, I'm not going to lie. There's always that creeping thought if you have a bad day or something, oh my gosh. But really, we've just been so lucky with clients and customers. Everyone's so happy and positive, and it's been great. Yeah. So we're just going to keep going. And piggybacking off of events, I wanted to say that we do love hosting events, and that's something that the previous owner did. I think I'm a little crazy with it. I feel like I've like taken it to the next level in a good way or a bad way. I don't know. But we try and do it around a theme. Like for instance, I love Taylor Swift. A lot of people do. So her new album came out, and so in October we had this album listening event where we had these little Easter eggs all around the store that had different discounts. So for that day, you had to go find Easter eggs, and they had like different percentages off or different like prizes, which was fun. We listened to the album. We had a lyric wall, so you could write like your favorite song or your favorite lyric or something. We decorated the store, and then we had like 13% off of an item, and then we listened to the album, and everyone got to chat. So even if you weren't a Taylor Swift fan, it was just super fun to be involved in it. Like I had some customers who were like, I don't really know about Taylor Swift, but I bought her favorite candy. I looked it up, and I'm like, okay. So it was fun, and it gets you in the store and gets people talking, and so we love to have events. And so our next one that's coming up in the winter is a wellness event. And so sometimes it's a theme, sometimes it's with a group, but it's usually always open to the public. And we'll send out an email to our email list. We'll post it on social media. So we'll do that. And so if you're on our email list, you really just get emails when we do discounts and when we host events or things like out of the store, things like Fashion Week, we always promote, and then ways to donate. So that's really a cool way to create that community and that atmosphere, to make Panache feel approachable and to just create some buzz around the Four Corners area. Yeah.
Got it. So someone could say, I want to have a party and invite all my friends to come in. Let's take a look at clothes together.
Exactly. Yeah. So we
and
also
raise money for whatever organization.
No, you're so right. Yeah. So we do events. Yes. Thanks for bringing that up. So we started this in 2023, where you can rent the store after hours. I mean, you could do it during the store hours if you wanted to, but typically it's after hours. You can do an hour or 2 hours. It can be for an organization, or it can be for a business. And we've had people do like I said, wellness events, like a team bonding type of thing. We've had charities do it, and then we also do personal styling, which is great, which is taken off. So that's been really cool. So we've had two best friends. It was her 40th birthday, and she surprised her, and we had champagne and we did a personal styling appointment. And then we've had a lot of them have been surprises, actually. Now I'm saying this. Another one was the husband and wife. He surprised her. That was really fun. And then the other ones that we've done are one-on-ones with people who are just like ready to level up their styling, or maybe they've changed it. They entered into a new era of their life where they want to completely revamp the way that they look. So we'll do that, and we also allow you to bring in items that you might not know how to style. Like I've had this dress in my closet, I've had these pants in my closet for 3 years. Like I need help, or or maybe I just need to consign them. And so we do that, and that is like another growing piece for Panache. Yeah.
So really the key, I think, to make retail, at least from what you're telling me, to make it successful is always come up with new ways to get people a store, right? And whether it's digitally or parties or events. And, just really enjoy, and success will come, I think, when people have a good time.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, so that's great. Well, what a pleasure it's been. The time just flew by.
I know it did.
Thank you so much, Natalie Rae.
You.
Appreciate you coming in. Our guest today is Natalie Rae, Consignments by Natalie Rae. I appreciate you watching us, being our viewers today. I'm Nannette Nocon. It's about money. Until next time.